Hey, welcome MNFT Freedom episode number 17. Let's go. How you doing, Rochelle?
I'm doing well. Did you say episode 17? Wow.
Episode 17 already. Isn't that crazy?
Yes, and we are a year old officially. A little over a year old, yeah. MNFT.
Mhm.
We had our
Uh,
1 year birthday on April 23rd.
oh man, we should have had alcohol tonight.
We should have. We should have. I could use a drink. I could use a
Right?
drink. But it's been a great week though. Um
Good.
until you burst my bumper earlier on.
Oh well,
Megan Scott burst my bumper earlier. But we've had a fantastic week. Our proposal is out to the mayor of New Orleans looking for that letter of support. In addition to that, our proposal is done. We made a great connection with Terry Coxum from New York, and some big things to come out of that. Um, we've started working on the pitch deck. We've started talks in the NFT and even have some preliminary images. We'll be going over that with DayQ a little bit. You got a haircut and you're looking all young and sexy. I need to know what that's about. Yeah, I was gonna let that one slide, Scott.
Hey, you know what? When I go get my haircut, I pretty much am like, this is what I do. I get up in the morning and I just want the top long enough to comb, the sides super short, and do whatever. I don't care. And, the lady at the salon was like, all right, how do you like that? And I'm like, okay. And Megan's like, I like that. So I've just been doing the comb over.
No, you do. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the way she did it and cut it down at the sides. But it is a really. I noticed it right off the bat. You're kind of a cutie there, Mister. Just
Oh, now you're going
saying.
to make me blush.
I
I,
I
I,
see what Megan see.
I'm, I'm bringing DayQ in to get off the topic.
Oh,
Hey, what's
come
up, everybody?
on, come
Hello,
on.
hello,
Oh,
hello,
no, no, no,
hello.
no, 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 no. No, 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 Q. You are not coming in here with no blank profile picture, bro. We're not having that. Mm-mm.
Oh man, I got a blank
Mm-mm.
profile picture. How do I change
Yes,
that?
you turn on the camera. That's what you do. Turn on the
Man,
camera.
Oh,
We
I need
need to
to
no.
see you.
I need to get some light in here.
That's okay. We'll take the darkness. You're not getting off camera, bro. Um,
Man, I
and the
might
only
have
reason why,
to.
yeah, we can't have the blank profile picture. At least throw up your picture.
How do you? Yeah, let me see how I can do that.
Hit edit avatar when you go back out or on the main screen or on the
Let me see.
thingy.
Let me
I don't
see.
know.
'Cause you're right. I definitely need a profile picture. How you
But
guys doing today?
doing awesome. How about yourself?
I can't complain. I can't complain. It's Friday. You know, it's a wonderful, wonderful evening. Friday evening here in Cali. Kids are coming down. As you can hear one coming in the room who's not supposed to
No.
be in here. They find me no matter what.
That's your job, right?
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, Rochelle's just going through the week and all the exciting things that are happening and building up towards, what we have cooking for September. Really exciting. I know just the progress that we've made from Atlanta to New Orleans and to where we're at now. So, really exciting stuff.
I love it. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I can't wait to share some of the preliminary images with you guys.
Hmm.
I'll share them with Rochelle. You know, we still have to do some edits, but I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. I think you guys are going to love them. You know, it's all about captivating the crowds and giving them something that they won't forget.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Could we
So,
do the urban legend? Can we share the urban legend tonight? And we'll talk about the art and the ideas behind the celebration of New Orleans for the NFT project and what we plan to do with the funds raised for that. But 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 can we have an image that we can share and then talk about the things that go with it? Can we do it that way, Scott, or
Absolutely.
no?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So, DayQ at the bottom of your screen, it says present, and you can present a window, you can present a web page, you can present, pretty much whatever you want. So, do you see it?
present. I don't see it anywhere. I just see Mike, Cam, chat, more, and leave.
Hmm. Okay, well, I mean, if you want to send it to me, I can do it. Just let me.
Yeah, I could send you over the images, the ones that we've gone over so far. They still need to be edited for the most part. Some of them, because I've used AI to generate some of the concepts. So some of the fingers and whatnot need to be edited still, but they're really nice. So let me send it to you in Telegram, Scott, if
Perfect.
that's fine.
That works.
Okay, perfect. Let me get them over to you.
All right.
Yeah, and
That works.
and the reason why we're talking about the NFT, Scott, we've talked about the mindset of creating the wealth and what that wealth looks like to you. We've talked about the mindset of budgeting, of cooking, of investing, a whole bunch of things. But we even talked about how to build. We've shared, you and I have both shared our experiences. You creating the Heroes Token and what it's done successfully and contributing well over $50,000 towards charity. But we
Mhm.
never really got into depth about the time, the resources, the money, the emotion that goes into building something. And the concept behind celebrating New Orleans, it's really about people seeing New Orleans beyond Katrina. And that means actually going back to the past as well, the history of New Orleans, the culture, the food, the music, the people, right? Like, I didn't know that originally was founded by both French and Spanish. The
Okay.
architecture there, I thought it was mostly Spanish, mostly French, and which is very reminiscent of the Caribbean as well. You got to
Hmm.
remember that it's colorful houses there. Most people have like they call it the gallery. They call it a gallery in the Caribbean. They call it a veranda in the South, a porch on the East Coast, right? So it's still something relatively new to see it the way it's presented when you look at movies and things like that. Because I've never been to New Orleans in person, but it's so rich in culture. It's so rich in so many things. How do you do an ode to a city like that where you remind people of the beauty of where they're at, right? And so you have to go back to the food. You have to go back to the music, the culture. You have to go back to the past. You got to go to the present. Then we got to look to the future. And what else can say that better than visuals, than music, and explicitly an NFT? And that's the idea behind it. 50% of everything earned from the NFT will go towards scholarships that will be presented on the final night of our event there. Um, in addition to that, each NFT holder gets a ticket for the event for any day of their choosing, and they get a free subscription to the app for a year. So the NFT has strong utility in addition to it going to a great cause and giving someone a future, because that's what it is when you give away a scholarship. You're giving someone a future, right? A chance at a future. So those are the
Absolutely.
boring concepts behind it. But wait till you see the images. They're absolutely amazing.
I just sent you about 5 images,
I've got
and
them
this is
all.
just this is just the start. There'll be a lot more to cover, like more cultural values,
Hmm.
and I could explain, as we go, if you like, behind each one, if you don't mind. Or
Absolutely. So let me bring them up and we'll take a look. So here's the first one.
okay, so this image here is capturing the spirit of jazz in New Orleans. And when I thought of music, I thought of color, I thought of the city, I thought of, the conceptual. This is where jazz was originated. This is the hub of New Orleans. You have New Orleans, you have Memphis, but mostly New Orleans. You think about Bourbon Street, you think about all of the old taverns, all the old clubs, and I just wanted something that represented like a goddess-like spirit that you could just feel it when you see it. You think Mardi Gras, you think just powerful music, powerful color, powerful culture that just creates this aura, almost to where you could almost smell it, you could almost taste it, you could almost feel it. The bayou. So that's and you'll see her throughout the collection, that we create. But this is just one image of her, and there's others where she's actually playing music in the night sky. So that's this image.
Nice.
The next image is the same concept. You know, the spirit of jazz, spirit of music in New Orleans. As you can say, it's a beautiful night. As you can see, I got to fix some of those fingers there, but you know, she's playing some kind of mythical instrument, but it's supposed to be representative of jazz and the feeling. You know, her hair is full of random music notes and color in the night sky with the city behind her.
Nice. I love that.
Thank you. Now this is a spirit of the swamp, you know, something mystical. Because when you create an NFT, you don't want it to be boring. You don't want to give somebody the same old, same old. You want to switch it up. You want to give somebody something that they're gonna have to stop and look at. When they
Mm.
see this, they're gonna squint. They're gonna look into it in detail and figure out what am I looking at? What is this? Now, our plan is to print all of these images onto a canvas or some type of painting, some type of broad, you know, I guess you would say board like canvas and place LED lights behind them. So that way, whoever buys the NFT will also receive a physical copy and something that will really bring to life any place that they put them up, whether it's their living room, their dining room, whatever. You know, wherever they place it, I want it to just come to life. I want them to really, really grasp, you know, something they own, something that's really cool.
I'll tell you, I love that one. That one, would go with the artwork Megan and I just recently bought within the last year, um, and that would fit in our decor. We would just absolutely love that one.
Oh, well, there
So
you go. We got to get you one, Scott.
I'm in for that one. Yeah.
Thank
Uh,
you.
anyway, moving on. I
Thank
had to
you.
go back and look at that one again.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, those man. I love that was probably my favorite one. You know,
yeah.
this
All
is
right.
the alligator.
This is my favorite. This one is my favorite.
This is the alligator man. Now, alligator man. There's different myths. There's different things within. Like my mother, she's of Creole heritage, so there's a lot of different stories, a lot of different things that she was told as a child that she told us as children. And you know, I don't know much about certain some of their urban legends, but some of them I do. Which is the I'm pretty sure everybody's heard of Telipo.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard that? You've heard of Telipo, I'm sure.
Hmm.
You've heard
Yep.
of the Rougarou, and then there's alligator. You know, there's alligator man. You know, there's other names for him in French Creole and different things. So I just created the alligator man doing a deal. That's what he does. You know, and I wanted to create him at a scene of him. You know, speaking with the man about Lord knows what. He kind of looks sneaky. You know, but at the same time, it's like a gambling table. What's on the line? Is it worldly or is it outer worldly? It's up to the viewer.
Nice. Love it. So, does the alligator have a name other than
Just
Alligator Man?
there's different names for him, but I just call him Alligator Man because I can't say those names in French.
I gotcha. All right. All right.
And this, I don't know if you've heard of the legend of the Rougarou.
No.
So if you know about the legend of the Rougarou in Cajun and Creole culture, it's a man who was cursed, and he's cursed, I guess, 100 days out of the year, where he becomes a werewolf at night, or
Okay.
like a werewolf-like creature. And he was a rich man, and I think he was rude to someone, or he did something to someone that was poor, and they cursed him. They put a curse on him, and he became the Rougarou, which is a painful metamorphosis in which he loses his human features and becomes a wolf man-like creature, where he lurks the night for more prey. And if the Rougarou bites you, you become a Rougarou too.
Gotcha. So now, do you know the history of that? Did that happen before the actual whole myth of the werewolf, or what I mean is werewolf based off of this uh, mythical
We
character,
just
or
did
like?
we just did the basics, Scott, and the ideas of what we wanted to include in the NFT collection. Most
Hmm.
NFT collections have one consistent image that is changed up layer by layer for different features. We didn't want to
Right.
do that.
We
We
don't want to
wanted
do
to
a
do some.
generative,
Right. We didn't want to do a
non-generative. Yeah,
generative collection. We wanted it to be unique, each and of its own. And the customization for the smart contract will have the description for those unique set of images. So by the time we refine this image, and again, everything we're putting out are preliminary, just based on building the concept, and we're sharing it this early because we want people to go along on the journey of what it takes, right, to create a successful NFT project. And that's where it starts, really, with the ideation of what are these images and what should they represent. And
Hmm.
tech wise, and the smart contract, For those unique set of images, I am hoping to partner with a really great dev, and they're gonna cuss me out because I'm gonna be exquisite on the lines of code that I want. It's gonna be descriptive, so they're gonna have their names written into the smart contract on the blockchain for each of these images instead of number 4562. Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's look. I saw there's one more here.
Oh, that's just another spirit. That's just another spirit of jazz. Because we're gonna have a few that are similar. They're non-generative, but just
Mhm.
different pieces for people to purchase. Because you don't want to just give one. There's gonna be multiple. There's gonna be the urban legends. There's gonna be the music. There's gonna be the culinary side. There's gonna be more of a soulful thing, more of a Native American indigenous background. It's gonna be a lot more.
Nice. No, I like that one too. Actually, they're all great. I was just going through. Looks like, yeah, that could have so much of a story behind it. Um, yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
that's the push too because Q is a photographer as well, a professional photographer. So we're hoping at some point that we get up to New Orleans several months out, take some great photos that we can then recreate as NFTs, talk to the people there. Like this is not, oh, I'm just gonna Google stuff. No, we want to have conversations. We're pairing NFTs with music. We
Hmm.
might pair it with an audio story with someone that we've spoken to there. That's the beauty of being able to have a custom creation when it comes to your smart contract, and kind of building it ourselves, right? Because we want to tell the story. That's the beauty. We want to tell the story, and you can't tell the story in just one dimension. We do a disservice that way. If we're talking about music, then I want you to be able to at least have a sample of the music that go along with the NFT. If we are talking about culinary, then I want a story to go along with that dish and why that's the most popular restaurant and why that dish is being served for the past 200 years, right? I want the story behind it. And yeah, I'm excited. I think being able to steep ourselves into the culture of what is New Orleans, um, by the time, because it's about building community. Our
Hmm.
statement to the mayor was um, that we have provided value to the people of New Orleans. We can't do that as an outsider. We got to be able to be there, talk to the people, and find the heartbeat of the city. So
Yep.
super, super excited to do that. I think it makes a difference on the information we have to share. And if we're looking to engage the community, we have to meet the community where they're at.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, no, 100%. And I love the idea of putting, the information within the NFT. We had actually done that with our Series One collection. Is if you acquired it, you could unlock the backstory of that image within the NFT, and even we had a limited run edition NFT for the dev team where I was able to write a personal message to them that only they could see, which I think goes a lot further, and having the description or the idea and the thought process behind it is something you're not going to get from traditional artwork, right? When you look at, and this is coming from me being a art ed major back in the day, but when you look at a piece of artwork in a museum and you have 30 different people explaining what their perception of that and what the artist was thinking to do that. Here with NFTs, you're able as the artist to put that information in there. So there is no misunderstanding. It's all there. This is what we were thinking. This is why we were thinking it. This is what our thought process is. And no, I love that 100%.
Absolutely. We also want to have like that sense of, storytelling. Like you said, there's nothing better than a good story and having a good piece of art, having something that ties to historical things or urban legends, different features of utility that grants more than just a digital art piece, something
Mhm.
that can grow in value because you could take it anywhere, especially as the owner. there may be other things that lead into something. Not saying that will, not to say that's guaranteed 100% of the time, but it would be nice if things could lead into a book or a comic or a movie or some type of valuable, something that gives it more value over time. You never know. The imagination could go so far.
Absolutely. And Crypto Farms, great artwork. Thanks. I saw Corey. Shout out to him. He's in the house checking it out. So with these, every NFT is going to be different. Is that correct? Or are we going to have multiples of each one?
We still got to figure that out, but I think for the most part they'll all be different, just because we want to give it more value as like one of one pieces. So it may be the same character, but it'll be a different NFT. It'll be a different image, because
Yep.
we definitely want to give people variety, and you want to have subsets. You want to have subsets. You want to have different pieces that tie into just the art, the history, the culture,
Mhm.
the culinary side of it. You want to give people something that fits them, because not one size fits all. You want to give people variety and options to choose. Maybe
Yep.
I'm a chef, or maybe my grandmother owned a restaurant at one point in New Orleans. Maybe I'm planning on opening a restaurant and I want to put up different art that traditionally ties, but something that's outside the something that's outside the context of food. Maybe I want the Rougarou in my
Mhm.
bar. Maybe I want the Spirit of Jazz in my club. It's just giving it opening doors, because pictures are just windows. When you think of an image, as a photographer, when I take the picture of a model or of a subject, I have to think about the audience. I have to think about everybody that's viewing this picture. So it's not just about what I want. I have to let the camera do its job. I just have to be the person operating it as the medium to make it happen. But
Yep.
I always have to have the user or the viewer in mind, because
Right.
user experience is everything.
Well, yes, and partially no. And what I mean by that is, as a artist and a photographer, um, I mean, you could see something that you're going to photograph that you find a lot of value in and could be part of a collection you're putting together, and that maybe might open the eyes of others looking at it as a piece of artwork. So, um, as a contracted contract photographer, yes, you do have to keep the client in mind and get what their thought and goal is on the process. So, no, absolutely. And we need a Muerte NFT, by the way, because that's another one that I would definitely need to buy. That's a reference. Well, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the movie Undercover Blue.
Undercover Blue.
Yeah, Muerte.
Muerte. I thought the first thing I thought was Dios. Like, I think it's for the Mexican culture.
Yeah,
Or are you talking?
yeah. So anyway, it's a movie with Dennis Quaid and Catherine Turner. Is that Kathleen Turner? And there's like secret agents, and he is out walking his child in a stroller and gets assaulted by Morete, who is trying to take his wallet and whatnot. And the whole movie goes on with Morete, and it's pretty humorous.
You're showing your age.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to check that out.
It is by far my favorite New Orleans based movie. It kind of reflects a lot of the culture and everything, but it's very light and funny. So, but yeah,
I
anyway,
like this the Boondock Saints.
the Boondock Saints. Yep.
Yeah, you ever seen that? Love that. Love that. Love that.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, it's and it's sad too. Like when we first pivoted to New Orleans, and I started really taking a look at all they have to offer. It seems like for everyone, they're frozen in. Oh, that's Katrina, right? That's it. That's absolutely it. That's it. That's all. Um, people seem to recall, but the history, the beauty, the music, the food, the culture, the people, Scott. Like I'm going down this rabbit hole, and I got to tell you, I'm almost ready to pack up and just go move there. Just being captivated, like it's such a rich history. And Q, showed me a photo of his family, like I think his great grandmother, because they come from New Orleans, right? And to see that photo and um, right now there's this big debate, and we're not going to get into this at all. Um, Politically, I don't want to get into it, but I'm only going to draw reference to it to something for information I did not know. So particularly in New Orleans has a very strong concentration of not slaves, Scott, but um, free women, Native American, right? They were classified as Native American, born free, um, and weren't part of the slave trade at all,
Hmm.
at all. But they're still people of color under the U.S. code as it exists now. That's something I didn't know. Like every time you think of a person of color in the United States, you assume that their family came via the slave trade. Well, it was news to me to find out there's quite a few that their family history did not include slavery at all. And New Orleans was one of those places, and so you
You
have the
mind
Geisha, the geisha,
the
the Gishi,
the
Gishi. Am I
Geechee?
saying that right?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
Geechee.
Um,
They're in Atlanta and New Orleans. They travel.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating.
Yeah, South Carolina.
Hmm.
For the Geechee, they're like right outside. There's a lot of traveling people there. Like that's where the Creole people originated. So like my family, for
Hmm.
example, a lot of people couldn't afford like
Romanian too. Romanian too,
yeah,
Scott. Romanian too.
yeah, absolutely. Now in New Orleans, they had different laws and different appliances where it was more blended. That's how you got Creole people of different. You got Spanish Creole, French Creole. There's a ton of
Hmm.
Creoles down there that people don't know about, and it's because it was more free. People were able to mingle together there without anybody really turning, the blind eye. There's Italian Creole. People don't know about that. People don't know that Italian people were lynched in New Orleans. A lot of times people don't know about the history of Louisiana in total. So like my family, they were an amalgam of Creole because Creole for French Creole is usually African, which did originate from slavery at one point.
Hmm.
Um, Indian, which is Native American, which we shouldn't call Indian, but that's just what they say. And French, which came from the Arcadian, which became Cajun people who came from Canada, who came from Montreal and different places of French Canada. So they blended together, and that's how you got Creole. Because Creole just means mix. That's all it means. It just means a blend of something. Same with the Spaniard, same with the Italian, same with different Arab countries too. But a lot of times, the more popular ones were the people who settled there, who stayed. A lot of people kept traveling, so their ethnic kind of ties and values didn't stick around as long as like the French Creole, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And they
No,
weren't slaves. Some of them even owned slaves, which is weird
yeah.
because
Huh.
you
Yeah,
have
I
the
was shocked when
plantation.
I was shocked when I read that too. I was like, huh? Explain that.
Hmm.
How do you as a person of color own slaves when I mean literally just a couple of miles, and guess what, you're clapped in chains too. So a very unique blend. Um, the culture, the blend that came afterwards for the food, the people. It really, there's so much more than what I simply assumed. Oh, that's that state that was affected by Katrina, or that's that Mardi Gras state, right? That's literally was my knowledge skill set of New Orleans, and now going down that rabbit hole, absolutely fascinated and captivated by the culture, the things that I'm learning every day. Really, it's an eye opener. It's something that I definitely am passionate about sharing, and hopefully people can join that journey as well through the NFTs. Right? Why are you smiling, Scott? I always get nervous when you're smiling. Like,
No,
like
I've never been to New Orleans, and I'm excited to be going. Atlanta didn't have me that excited because I've been there. But yeah, I've New Orleans is on our bucket list, so we're excited. Um, yeah, but anyway, enough about my smile. Um, so we have the NFTs, and the purpose of the NFTs. Did we share that? I don't believe we did. I,
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
did.
briefly.
I'm
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead, Q.
okay. I was gonna let you go, Rochelle. I was just saying, yeah. The purpose of the NFTs is just to introduce the concept of NFTs to people who may not know. One thing I believe in is a sense of mass adoption when it comes to utilizing new technology. You have to make it seem familiar. You have to present something that familiarizes what people are being introduced to. So if you have an image, why not create art that people can relate to in a sense of where it doesn't feel like technology? Because they say mass adoption can't take place until everyone is using the technology without even realizing it, right?
Yep.
So I feel like if you could present a digital kind of sense where it's physical meets digital, where they get a physical copy as well as a digital copy, it's easier to explain non-fungible tokens to people via the blockchain technology.
Hmm.
And what the NFT beholds. NFTs don't always have to be generative, copies within a collection. They could be one standoff collection pieces that are unique to you and only you own it, and you prove it by owning it on the blockchain as well as a physical.
Yep. Absolutely. And yeah, and I think especially with the whole PFP style of NFTs, I'm not opposed to them. I do. There's some out there that I find value in and I like a lot. But as an artist, and my initial journey with NFTs was creating those one of one pieces of art and putting them on the blockchain, and finding out that I have more luck doing it in the real world than I do there. So, actually having the physical piece and being able to retail it. But, I also do find a lot of value in creative pieces like this that really cause your eye to look around and to see all the different, just the layout of it. And, as an artist, and, the, yeah, it's just kind of neat. And if no one's noticed, this image here does have a floating tree in it, which kind of lends to that whole mythical aspect of the image as a whole.
Oh, the spiritual references and the culture that's been built up around the swamps of Louisiana, even the culinary trade there. It goes back to that swamp, bro.
Mhm.
Right? So when he sent this over, I said, "That's it. This is exactly coming to life as I imagined it." Right? The whole vibe of it. We can't go into a community and say, "Hey, we're here for you," and don't know crap about the community.
Right.
Um, and going along the lines that I don't believe in coincidences. We're exactly where we need it to be. We have the experiences that we have because we need to have it to tell the story, and for that story to go forward. This is something, um, if we do it successfully, that will live on past us. The goal is to have one of these images hanging physically in the mayor's office forever and ever in the city of New Orleans, because that's the impact that we want to have. We want to impact lives. We want to change lives. We want to give people an opportunity where there was none before. And I can't think of a better community to start this journey with.
Absolutely.
Um, really quick, Scott, if you don't mind, can you go back to the swamp image?
Absolutely. Yep.
Now, in this image, here's the trippy part. If you look, you can see the reflection, right?
Yep. Never.
So my question is, which one is which?
What do you mean? Which one is which?
Which
Which
is
is real?
real? The reflection. Are we looking at the real? Are we looking at the real thing? Or are we looking at the water? That's where I want to go. Like, there's duality there. Like the swamp, what does it represent? There's light there, but what is it? Is this thing emerging from the water? Is it entering the water? What world are we in? So having, like, just different aspects of trees. I want to add, like, the Spanish, the Spanish willow trees where they hang, like the Spanish moss trees where they flow.
Hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with those. In every, like, most New Orleans based movies, they have them, long driveways or long roads to a home, like an old
Hmm.
mansion, and they have, like, those willow trees and, like, I forgot what they're called. I think they're called Spanish moss trees, but it's incredible, and I kind of want to incorporate those because I feel like you can't have a swamp without them in Louisiana.
Nice.
So
Oh
there's
yeah.
more on the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. It's it is very very cool. Um, yeah, definitely digging it. And Gator Man, which Gator Man looks like he's wearing a gator jacket.
Yep. Yep.
That's
Yep.
that that could have a couple of meanings as well. um, but yeah, no, that's definitely cool.
I had this idea because we recently, my lady and myself, we recently moved to our new apartment, and we've got like our living room has like vaulted ceilings. She wanted to
Hmm.
decorate it. She's an astrophysicist, so she wanted to decorate it with the solar system and the
Oh, nice.
universe. So I started creating like just generating different images that I shared with Rochelle about space,
Hmm.
and I want to turn them into canvases, add LED lights behind them of whatever color they represent,
Hmm.
and place them on our walls. So I want to do the same thing for these canvases. I want to just add LED lights once they're printed, like a large, the spirit of jazz, really large, either purple or white, whatever. Someone can even change the color if they want to, because you never know what color their wall is or whatever color they choose. And I would love to have it just blown up really large with those LED strips around it, that are safe, that won't catch on fire, that just bring out even more of a sense of like an art piece.
Right. Nice. Yeah, I mean that's a lot of work though too. I mean, depending on the size of the collection, um, ha, that would really
But that's why the benefits are going along with it, right? We've got the 50% of the proceeds going towards the scholarship. They
Mhm.
get a ticket to the event. Um, some of it is even being paired with music. There'll be raffles to win a VIP ticket, and that includes the nighttime activities as well. A chance to hobnob in the VIP room with the artists and speakers and things like that. So, the price point for some of it is it's not all going to be minted at the same price. Obviously, they can't coming with the physical piece as well. The
Right.
cost to put it together, but we're making sure that it comes with value. As to the number of pieces, when we're finished with the collection, is what it ends up at. We're not coming in with the idea, oh, we need a 10,000 piece collection because we want to make so much money. It's about the value, and it's about the journey, Scott. So yeah,
Yep.
it is a lot of work. And I'm glad you pointed that out because people seem to think that, oh, you do an NFT project and you just throw up this generative collection and let the computer do the rest, and easy peasy, you're a millionaire.
Well,
No, no.
yeah. To the defense of those with generative projects, they do have to create all of those pieces that get generated by the computer and put together by randomly by the algorithm that they write. They have to create all those pieces individually. So it's still a lot of work. It's just not the same. It's a different type of work. Right.
Oh no,
Absolutely.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, that it's not why we're sharing it so early. And no NFT project will do this, by the way.
Hmm.
Share the concept, share the ideas this early on, where these images, um, are they're not going to be the final product, right?
Right.
Um, there's still a lot of work to be done. Nobody's willing to do it this early, but the truth is, this is a recorded space. We could go back and point. Oh, by the way, right?
Yeah.
This is ours, So we're comfortable in sharing that idea, and the truth is, I we can't be worried about who's going to come in and take our ideas, right? This is a push for community. This is a push for sharing knowledge and giving open access and a level playing field for all. So you might have that jazz musician that we might be able to connect with through the artwork. It says, "Oh wow, I never thought that that is an additional revenue stream for me, preparing my music with a beautiful piece of art."
You
Hmm.
So there's
know,
so many things. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Go ahead.
You know what will be interesting? Nah, I'm just gonna share this idea here. Maybe I shouldn't, but I'm just gonna shoot for it because it's a wonderful conversation, and I'm loving the vibes here. So it would be wonderful if once we got to Louisiana or beforehand, we reached out to somebody who's a local jazz player, and or like somebody who lives near the swamps near New Orleans, and we could get their storytelling side of it as from a local and attach it to the piece in the video form.
Yeah,
Things
that's what
like
we
that.
were.
Thing.
Yeah, we talked about that just prior to you joining in about the push to go down there beforehand to get the stories, whether it's through the food that we portray in the NFT. Maybe it's from a popular restaurant that has been serving the same dish for 150 years, right? What's the story behind that dish? So yeah, that's the push to get there early. Get you there, taking the photographs, getting the stories, gathering the data. And again, this is not. I want people to see the journey that you go on when you want to put out something of value, where the value is the appreciation from the consumer standpoint. So all of that, we want all of that. Um, Funding is a big part of that too, right, Scott?
That's right. That's right. It is.
Quite ambitious. I see Scott going, oh my God, where are we gonna get this money from? Well, hey, sales has been a strong part of my background, man. So yeah, I'm about to beat down doors to make sure that we do something fantastic for New Orleans.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be awesome, and I do love all of these. I can't wait to see more, and knowing that the information and history behind it's going to be written in there. And going back to if you're going down to, kind of gather more information and utilize some of the artists that are already down there. Um, I mean, because these are AI generated, you could very easily snap a picture, take that, and generate it in the style that you have going on here, and then attach music to it or whatever. So yeah, it's really cool, really cool. All right.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But again, we're talking about finances, and that could be so dry and so boring.
Hmm.
Um, but it's the realm of possibilities, right? Stimulating an economy where it's no longer in real life based. And again, um, helping businesses that are there to understand that they should be looking at this emerging technology that is not going anywhere, that is only growing, for the opportunities, the infinite potential that it presents, both for local artists and businesses, and for the young people that are looking around for what careers should they get involved in, how do they tie their passion to an income. All of these things is the challenge that MNFT and its associated partners are taking on by providing this digital economy event in New Orleans.
Absolutely. And it's, yeah, and it's going to cover so much, be so informative, and just really hopefully open eyes, right? Uh, get people coming in not knowing, that are looking just, for whatever purpose, whether it is just, that first step to when they leave, having their minds just wide open of the possibilities that are out there for them. So that's, I think, what I'm looking forward to the most is talking to people on the first day, and then talking to them on the last day before they're ready to depart, and seeing what their response is. I think that's going to be pretty awesome. But yeah. So, did I lose everyone?
No, I was just
Oh,
I talk a
you're
lot
just,
on this show, man.
No, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I might mute it in case like my one of my children start screaming or something, but I'm here. I love where we're going. I love the energy. I love to chat about things like this. Scott, I have a question for you
yeah.
in regards to NFTs. Right? and the
Mhm.
criteria of the blockchain, such as just Web3 related, thinking about decentralized, trustless data.
Yep.
What is your, how do I say, what is your ambition for, or your, I guess you would say your most, what interests you the most about non-fungible tokens?
That is a good question. A lot of people look at utility and what they're going to get back from it. Um, I've always from the beginning looked at it as artwork. And, you know, I mean, you buy a piece of artwork for your home, right? You're buying it because you find value in what that artist created. I like NFTs for that purpose, and it has gotten away from that quite a bit. You have projects that are out there that are doing, decent NFTs. I'm not saying they're bad, but uh, a lot of the generative NFTs that are out there, they're not. I guess they're lacking a little bit of originality because it's kind of cookie cuttered and put together. But I'm not hating on that. I'm just saying that it's a little different. And then they're throwing, what do you call it? Staking on top of that, where you can earn passive income from, which is great as well. But honestly, if I'm buying an NFT, I'm buying it, I think, because I like the art that is portraying, whether it is audio or visual. And, the fact that, audio's kind of making a run. And, I had talked to, oh, I'm so horrible with names. Anyway, we we had someone on a little while ago, and we were talking about music industry with NFTs and the blockchain and how that all works, and I think that is a big part of the future. But yeah, I'm always passionate about the artwork. When I see something that catches my eye and I have to pause and I have to really look at it, I find value in that, or if it hits me in a certain way where it's like changes my mood, I find value in that. And I think that's what these here that you're creating, DayQ. I think these are just that. They're the type of NFT that I would find more value in because of the art that is being portrayed. Um, you know, but there you have it. I think the future of NFTs. I think there's a lot of different avenues that we can look at. We can look at the metaverse, and I know not you haven't been hearing too much about that, but there's still projects that are actively building towards that. And everything that is going to be found in the metaverse is going to be an NFT, whether it is, a piece of clothing or a image on a wall or, an item within that metaverse. You're going to be able to acquire it and add it to your experience there. I think Hayden Studios is doing something fantastic, which I'm not sure anybody's really doing something to that stature, where they're integrating their NFTs into their game. But not only that, they're giving a profit share for in-game purchases on those items, which is amazing. So I think it is so new. People don't really know exactly what they expect, just like the your tokens that are out there. They have come such a long way in just the last 5 years. In heck, the last 18 months from where they were before, that it is so new and so untapped that I think the innovation for it is there, that it's just going to blow us away when we get 5 more years down the road and see where we're at. So yeah, and I can talk too, Rochelle.
I love it. I think that's a wonderful take.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I just I find value in the imagery. in the actual artwork itself. How about yourself?
I've worked on both generative and non-generative collections, and I can tell you that generative collections are no joke because you're right. You have to create every single asset and piece that go into a generative collection. I built generative NFT generators to make
Hmm.
it simpler for people. I helped found technology with a company I used to that I helped found that I was working with, and we're building things like that for drag and drop features to make it simpler for users who may have a generative collection on hand and want a more cost effective way of doing it. So we had to create art pieces for it, and man, that was definitely tough. But I
Yeah.
respect both sides of the field from doing it, and I love it because it gives people a chance to create something that's unique. And I love the uniqueness that the blockchain can offer because it's immutable. So when you own a piece, whether it's in real life or not, I believe that eventually digital items and digital assets, meaning, physical meets digital, I believe that in the future, people will be able to track and store data. I think that people will be able to say, like, listen, this piece has lived here. This piece has been in this museum. This piece has been owned by this celebrity. This piece has been owned by this politician. This piece made it to the White House and it's on the blockchain as well.
Yeah.
So and have that sense of, I guess you would say discretion, but at the same time, it just collects like more value over time. And it's proven on the blockchain. Like you cannot erase that. Like this was here, so and if you could scan it or in the future, I believe that people are going to be able to share, the token address via physical. You scan it on your phone and you'll be able to store it as a viewer. Maybe not a collector, but you can collect an NFT based on what you've been. It'll become a part of your travel. It'll become a part of your experience, and that's what I'm looking forward to for music, for anything, because a lot of times the blockchain isn't just going to be for store of value. It's not just going to be for value and assets. It's also going to be for data info.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to zero knowledge proof. A lot of the EVMs that they're creating, a lot of the NFTs that are behind that. So that way there's just more decentralization, and people who have been traditionally, I guess you would say, excluded from traditional financial institutions have an opportunity to become a part of the global economy via NFT. People who may not have had a chance to get their stuff out there in the real world due to not having access to certain fields, now they can access it via the blockchain
Hmm.
directly, to someone else.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Love that. How about you, Rochelle?
I think for me that I will always say the beauty of an NFT is the art.
Nipple
I
clamps.
still believe that art can definitely be um, a utility. I really believe that art is definitely a utility. Um, but a non-fungible token is way more than just the physical image that you're presented with. But we are creatures of our senses. Um, we are more drawn to the things that we can see, touch, taste, smell, and hear.
Hmm.
And so to appeal to the eye, when you are creating an NFT, you do need to sit down and plan it out because what do you want that viewer to take away? Um, and you're right. There are some images that just boggles my mind, and this is not an opportunity for me to rant about um, my absolute disgust over ape NFTs, but I never understood the mutant NFT, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to look at something and I want to look at something good. And when you take a look at the mutant ape NFT, I'm like, oh my God, that's just gross. I don't want to look at it. So
Hmm.
there's no, to me, and again, this is strictly my personal point of view. Um, it's not something I would buy. If I see it and I'm turned off by it, I'm not even looking to see what utility that goes with it because again, we're creatures of our senses. And if it doesn't appeal to me visually, I have no interest in it, no matter what you have it backed by. So I think that's something that NFT creators need to really be aware of when they're putting out something. If that's the case, then just throw up a logo, right? If I'm buying into like let's say a fractionalized NFT, throw up just a picture of a house. It's more palatable to me as an investor to look at that and go, oh, okay, so this is a fractionalized NFT. I'm owning real estate with it. That's the utility. But don't give me a piece of art that I'm absolutely turned off by, and that be your first utility, and then expect me to go, oh wow, that's awesome. No, we're creatures of our senses, and some of us are even slaves to it. So if it's not visually appealing to most people, you're going to find yourself niched in and boxed in and with a very slow moving collection.
Yep. Unless it's a duck, in which case then we all love ducks.
Yeah, you know that. I mean, the little curry duck ain't gonna go too bad over, right?
Also,
Facts.
also I
And
think
I will even go one step further to say, for example, um, I had someone comment about the pocket cows, and again, I'm going to say not financial advice. I am a person that absolutely stand by these numbers. 80% buy into the team, 20% buy into the product. I bought into the team. I bought into Turo. I bought into what he's building, what he has so far. And the person that commented on the art was like, "What is this shit?" That's literally what they called it. And I laughed and I said, to me, Mrs. Moonshine, which is the pocket cow that I own, um, cows are fun. It appealed to me on that level initially before I even understood all that came behind the project. Scott, Mrs. Moonshine was just cute. The pocket
Hmm.
cow image was just cute. It reminded me of childhood, right? It reminded me of something nostalgic, right? And it was pleasing to the eye. So again, while art is in the eye of the beholder, I think when you're talking about mixing it as an NFT, you still kind of have to play to your audience in that regard. Is it something that can be mass appealed, or is it niche? Because if it's niche, then you're limiting your reach.
Right. And pocket cows, I'm actually wearing my pocket cow hoodie tonight. So
That's why I mentioned it
the
too. Free
free,
plug, free plug.
free plug. Um,
And the merch is going to be really awesome too.
yep. Yep. Merch is going to be pretty cool that they're coming up with. Um, yeah. All designed by Hero Queen, by the way. Anyway, uh, yeah. What were you gonna say? Thank you. I know you kind
um
of chime in
I would
there.
just I was just gonna throw in there, like, with NFTs, there's also culture behind it. You have different vehicles in which people can resonate with a lot of these pieces outside of the context.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
You'll have your meme side, which is like a lot of these art pieces are essentially just memes. They're memes, so it doesn't matter about how well their art. I guess you would say their artistic details are, but most likely people are just joining it due to collectively loving the same meme. And then you have your art vehicle, which is like beautiful art or pieces that people invest in due to the art and due to who's behind the art. Like Rochelle said, 80% the team, 20% the project. Sometimes it's just the artist. Sometimes a famous artist might create something and people they'll gain a fan club or a community. Because a lot of these NFTs, if they invoke community, that's wonderful. That's what you want. You want to have that. You want to have a purpose. You want to have ideals that people can follow, and off of that purpose, you could always foster a sense of community. But I think if people could resonate with these pieces outside of the context of NFTs and just love it for what it is, whether it's a meme that they can just joke with or use to their entertainment, or just an art piece that they love that they could just look at, like you said earlier, change your mood. When they look at it, they could just be in awe inspiring.
Yep. Absolutely. And yeah, and have utility too. I mean, that's what a lot of people are looking for right now is what utility does it bring in. Rochelle brought up the pocket cows, and what Toro has built there with that collection is pretty awesome. Not only do you have the option to buy the cow, but you can send it to pasture and collect, income from that. Or you can keep the cow and play it in their already published game. So they're definitely not they're definitely well thought through what their business model is, and that makes a difference as well, especially when you're talking about a generative collection like that. But we are an hour in. I do want to make an announcement And this goes to all of our partner communities that we have worked with. The MNFT community, Pocket Cow community, our crypto rejects, all the communities that we have partnered up with over the last 2 years. We are part of Smart Chain Poker's tournament tomorrow afternoon. It starts at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you are a member of the Heroes community, so anybody that is part of the other community, join us. You get to play for free, and there is $500 in prizes for whoever makes it to the final table. So pretty cool. We're just doing something fun with a couple of other good quality projects that we've worked with, and I wanted to throw that out there for everybody to hopefully come in and participate.
I need that link. I'm just saying, I need that link.
All right, we'll hook you up.
I need that link. Gotta have that link. Yeah,
Yeah.
gotta have that link and allow me to retweet it as well. I love poker, big fan of it. And I have nothing planned but cartoons. I'm currently on season number 2 of The Cruds. Yes, that's my current fascination. Have you seen it? Oh my God, they actually have. Yeah, okay. It's funny though. It's funny. It's fun. The Cruds are funny. Okay. Is it the Cruds or Crudes? Did I say it right?
Oh, the Crudes.
Is
Yeah,
it
yeah,
the
yeah.
Crudes or
Yeah,
Cruds? Yeah,
Cavemen,
yeah, they're
right?
absolutely hilarious. So
Yep.
that's what I have queued up for the weekend. So yeah, I definitely have time to play poker.
Yep. So that starts tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is on Smart Chain Poker's DApp, which is online. So, but yeah, being a member of our community gets you free access to play in the tournament. And you make it to that final table, there's $500 of prizes from four, four different projects. So lots of cool stuff. But yeah, closing statement, guys. DQ, anything to close out the space?
Yeah. Anybody out there that has laid eyes on this or heard our voices, I hope that you're inspired by something today, whether it was this pieces or something as you're going home, passing by in the car, on the bus, or walking, whichever form of mobility you're using. Be inspired, like love life. Just get out there and just be a sponge to the world, and that's all.
Nice. Rochelle?
Ooh wee. Everything is a journey. I'm ready to handle. I'm ready to hand back this adulting shit. I'm ready to give it back. Can I give it back? But we can't. We can't because as much as there's been some hard travels. Oh my God, the experiences, the people, the lessons learned, um, really surpasses any of my expectations or even my wildest imagination. And I don't think I would trade any of that for an easy way to go. We learn and we grow as human beings, and part of that is making mistakes, falling flat on your face. But the power and the beauty of community, of friendship, of love, of family, um, is being able to get back up and repeat the whole process again, right? Um, Hopefully, you've learned from the mistakes made. But don't ever feel that you're alone, that you made those mistakes alone. We're all just doing the same thing. We're all part of this beautiful, maniacal human race. And what makes us, what makes us special, what makes us the top of the food chain, is that we have the choice to choose a different path. So make sure that you're choosing a different path when things don't work out.
Absolutely. And yeah, we went over quite a bit tonight. Um, you know, this image here really kind of hits home. She's playing an instrument. She is engulfed in that instrument and the music she's producing. Um, this image moved me as soon as I saw it. So, DQ, kudos to you for creating it. Absolutely beautiful. And, with what Rochelle said, you know, um, can give up a little bit of the adult thing, right? I mean, we don't have to always be the adult. We can have fun, just responsible fun, right? But yeah, learn from your mistakes, take them as lessons, and don't relive them. Learn from them, and let that be the end of it, right? That is how you move on. That is how you progress, and that is how you succeed, is by taking those failures and mistakes and taking a lesson away from it that will help you navigate life moving forward, not in the past. But yeah, with that, guys, I'm going to call it a night, and I appreciate you both for joining us. And man, well, I'm excited. Next week's episode 18.
Thank you so much for the compliment earlier, and I love being here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime you want to pop in, just send a shout out. We'll send you the link.
Let's
Thank you.
go and stay backstage for a moment for me, please, Q, as we end it.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you in a minute. Have a good night, everyone.